In 1976, I was fortunate enough to be handed a copy of I Am That. In January of 1979, I met Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. Nisargadatta Maharaj passed away in September of 1981. I left India in June of 1982. Although I returned to India several times over the next 25 years, it wasn't until 2007 where I and the Neti Neti film crew decided to go back to meet with Maharaj's old-time disciples and specifically to meet the translators that were still alive and interview them, asking them what were the most important teachings and what had happened for them over the last 26 years. It's so him, he's so nothing, that it's so him that he left nothing almost in a certain way. It's like it's just gone. Ketwadi and 10?
10.
Yeah, and then we want to go towards Grant Road.
It's on 11.
The archival filmage you're about to see was shot by Joseph, who passed away about 3 years ago. Joseph was one of the closest, if not the closest, Western disciple to Nisargadatta Maharaj. It's right over here. Thank you. This is the room where Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj sat and gave answered questions. So nice to meet you. I really When I came to him, the pain was so overwhelming. And for him to, to take the time to just give it, and that it's still going on 28 years later. There just aren't people like that anymore. There's nobody there like that anymore. It's just gone. Our next stop was Mulapatan. Mulapatan was Nisargadatta Maharaj's primary translator from 1976 until the time he passed.
You can say 1977 he regularly started these talks.
morning, evening, no Sunday. And in my own house, here also.
Yep.
And when first I brought him here to show my house, I showed him my dear gods, they are all deities. And he said, very nice, but you do one thing, tomorrow you collect them and put them into sea. Put them into sea, because the purpose of for which you are coming to me is not to hang on to the deities outside, but to deity you. Forget me. Don't make a deity of me and try photos and do puja for me. Forget my teachings, you see, to the extent of this. Forget my teachings. You follow what is the thing to be followed. Sit quietly and just watch the mind, thoughts. Don't quarrel or judge, nothing. Slowly the thoughts subside and you go into sort of stillness. That alert stillness is the linking with the Absolute.
This waking state is observed by that very principle. I am now. Waking state. And with the waking state, all this world is manifest because of my beingness. My world is manifest. That also is observed by that state, which is prior to beingness.
Forget me, forget my teachings, but abide in your own being, and the Absolute will give you the right directions. Your true Guru is when you are shed of everything, that the ray of the Absolute in you is your true Guru, ultimate Guru.
And I'll tell you a story you might not, because I remember it was you. You were translating, and a very famous, now it's someone who's very famous, who I won't say was there. He was sitting in front of me. First day there. So Maharaj says, what's your spiritual practice? Well, I watch your breath and the rising, falling, and he said the man describes Vipassana, but he's getting, like this. Maharaj looks at him and he just said, that's not it. So I'm watching him, and from the back, it was like his whole body was made of glass. That's what it felt like. And it's like he threw a rock through it, Maharaj, Now, you know what you said? I never saw you say this. I'll never forget this. You looked at it, I felt such bad. I mean, I know what this guy's going through because I went through it like a few months ago. And you leaned over to this man and you said, don't worry. Whatever you tell Maharaj you're doing, he always says, that's not it. That's what you said to him. You felt bad for him. I remember this. You leaned over. And I never saw you do that before.
तुम्ही कोण म्हणून आम्ही पोचलो नाही तिथपर्यंत म्हणतोय नको मग द्या खड्ड्या until then he says you jump into the pit, he says.
One day I came and I left Muktananda's place and I bring whatever stuff I have, which could be like the size of a case like this, all my worldly, I bring it. And that's it. Maharaj threw me out. That's when he threw me out. So, okay, I'm here. Okay, good. Now get out, Immediately. I'm not going to play that game with you. I'm just not going to do that,
अच्छा ब्रह्मांडाची जाळी एकच आहे मी असण्याची जाळी जाणवण्याच्या आधी माझे जे असणे आहे ते जाणीव निर्णय केला आहे जे जाणीवीचं साक्षीत्व त्याला घडते आहे आणि जाणीव नंतर जगाचं साक्षीत्व करते आहे.
Your mind is meant to deal with the world and to sustain your body in this world. But to understand the Absolute, you have to shut off the mind and the logic which follows the mind. Logic is limited, is truncated knowledge. Science and everything pertains to mind and downwards.
Yes.
Mind and downwards. That is not useful there at all. Because, the ultimate is so subtle that it cannot be reached by your limited mind or your intellect or anything, your best scientific instruments. It is continually changing. This is also continually changing.
Yes.
You are continually changing.
Mm-hmm.
So there you are not real. Mithya. What I see you now, like a mirage, a moment back. When I come, you are different. Understand? That is mind and this thing, this happen here. In reality, there is no change because that black hole.
यथार्थ नव्हे जाणीव राहणे न राहणे हे पण यथार्थ नव्हे जाणीव जाणवते आहे ते फक्त पाहणे जाणीव जाणवते आहे त्याचा अनुभव घेणे होणे ना लगेच अजून व्यक्तीचा स्कूप काढून टाकलाच नाही व्यक्तीचा स्कूप तुझा घट्ट आहे स्कूप गेला पाहिजे व्यक्ती आहे कल्पनेचा स्कूप फेकला गेला पाहिजे
80 or so, black hole was discovered. So I had read in English paper, but Maharaj used to read Marathi. So it is called Krishna River, the black hole. So I read that. Maharaj, you know this meaning of this? He said, what is it? I said, this is black hole. Everything collapses and goes into a point where the intensity of gravitational force is immense. So that is the state. That is the state. That is the state you have to. That means whatever your attention goes out, collect it in and abide in the being. Full force.
अशा स्वतःची इच्छा स्वतःचे प्रेम हे उघड झाले पाहिजे तू देहाला धरून बाहेरच्या विषयावर आशा इच्छा वाचना मागतोय तुझी आशा कर तुझी इच्छा कर मग आणखी काही तुझी वासना काय आहे आपण पाहिजे मी हयात पाहिजे
Soam Hamsa?
Some say so that ha.
Yeah.
So ha. Our Maharaj said, Soham Hamsaha. Soham Hamsaha. He was like this. Saham. I am that I am. So Ham. So means you. Saha. I am you. So Ham. You are me. And me, you are. When you are in zero mind, then you are in consciousness, the self. Self is consciousness, the ray of the absolute in each person. That consciousness. Its consciousness functions to this.
Beingness together with the manifest world of the beingness, both will disappear. And this is being observed by that ultimate principle.
The ray of the absolute is also in this. Understand? The ray of the absolute is in everything, because everything is made of the absolute.
Like
तुला
personality.
कशाला बनवलाय आणि कल्पना सगळे सगळं भुगे अमक्या कल्पना त्याला रूप नाही ही पण कल्पना पुन्हा आलं ही कल्पना
So he said that you were going whilst walking.
Just sit. Absolutely sit, nothingness. And nothingness itself is the ultimate. So in the absolute, you depend on nobody. It is pure, because there is no body.
There's nobody. Nobody. The next stop was to the Samadhi shrine of Sri Nisargadatta Maharaja's guru, Siddha Rameshwar. We were guided in a very, very beautiful way by a trustee named Vijay Sawat.
One day, I went with him in the Khetwadi Maharaj house. I went there. When I entered that your steps, you know that steps were there, and when we entered there, he was sitting. Bidi was there. The moment I entered, he pointed out to me, asking, "Tu kaun aise? Tu kaun aise?" Meaning, who are you? It was like a bomb, atom bomb. The question was like an atom bomb. It broke away my illusory concepts. I was thinking that I know something. I have learned something after reading books. Okay, I know. He threw such a bomb that it vanished all the thoughts. A thoughtless set was there. First lesson to learn in this field is whatever you see cannot be you. That is the first lesson you must learn. Means anyone, whatever you see cannot be you. But because I know it, it proves that I am not it. That was taught to me by Maharaj.
तो आहे कसं हे सांगण्याच्या निमित्ताचं नाही कसं हे सांगत होतो. हो अगदी आहे कसं आहे सांगण्याचं निमित्त आहे. औद्य दाखवतो पण तो नाही कसा दाखवतो. पुन्हा ते बोलला ना मला काय कळलं.
So, being with beingness, to be with beingness is a learning process. You have to learn slowly and steadily by keeping faith in the self, not anyone. You can keep faith in Nisarata Maharaj additionally, because it is taught by him. He has taught it. So keeping faith in him, but keeping real faith in yourself, you have to learn. I amness or beingness is whenever it is there, it will show you the film. It will show you the film. If you want to see the truth, you have to dissolve I am. It has to be dissolved. Gradually, means Maharaj used to tell us, why you are thinking that you should learn immediately? If there is a jungle, there are so many trees. Every tree doesn't blossom at a time. All trees doesn't blossom at a time. When time comes, it will blossom. We should not be worried when you will be knowing the truth. Let it take its own course of time. Be faithful to yourself, and you will understand what you will understand, that you are nothing, but this nothingness is not a vacuum, it is not a zero. When time starts, when there is a consciousness of I am, the time starts. Then you count 1, 2, 3, but it starts. process starts from the beingness. So this was means on meeting the Maharaj was so great.
ते सार्वजनिक झालं मग तुला कुठे जाणं येणार रे
The day on which he spoke and asked me the question, that day it started to vanish the I am. It took place from the same day. So vanishing doesn't happen in a fraction of second. It happens in a fraction of second, but then it is a process. Once you want to discard something, it is not discarded suddenly. Even at what you call a death, the body doesn't get discarded immediately. It takes up some time, no? So in the same way, what illusions you have got, what wrong thoughts we have got, they take their own time to vanish away.
मध्ये पहिला दिवस मांडला तरी 2-3 वर्ष तुला घर जाणीव नव्हती.
Even this beingness was not mature enough to understand.
So what was your position in the mother's womb? Prior to consciousness, and prior to 100 years, what were you?
हा मूळ मायाचा हिरण्यगर्भ गर्भाशय म्हणून मी आहे गर्भाशय आहे.
Whatever you have learned, you will come to know that it is false. Whatever you have learned, it is not true.
Vijay took us to the Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj Center, which is called a Kendra. Maharaj had said to his devotees, when I die, just take my ashes and put them into the sea. But they couldn't do that. They had to keep a little bit of it, which they put into this center, into this Kendra. And every Friday, they come and chant Maharaj's bhajans there. Vijay said to me, we just couldn't put all the ashes in the sea. We had to keep some of them. You could say it was the ignorance of his devotees.
Only Maharaj's words I was reading. Maharaj's words I was reading, which are enter in my mind. Those words.
So in the same way, I went to him. The moment he saw me, he said, yes, welcome. Then I sat with him. But during that time, I was so much so attached to him, there was no verbal conversation. After 1 month, 1.5 months of my first visit, he gave me name, Namadena.
He gave you a name.
Mantra.
I give you a mantra, yeah.
We call it Namadena. That means it is giving mantra. What is the principle behind this, all this, that is known as principle mantra. He gave me. Then he said, now you can follow. Now there is no need. When your outside guru, external guru, it will teach you now from your internal guru.
And when I had opportunity, he took me also once. And Maharaj said, next time I went with my father and Maharaj said, do you want Nama Mantra? Yes, I was very eager to. So I said, yes, I want. Like chocolate biscuits they give for a child. They gave me Nama Mantra immediately at that time only. And then he said, just catch hold of that. Just don't forget it, that's all. This, whatever I have given you, is enough. I used to ask him, I don't get any experiences, I don't have any, I'm nowhere. He used to say, whatever I have given you is enough. It will take care of itself. It will take care of you, it will take everything. You need not worry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Several of the trustees came to the hotel we were staying, and we had a chance to spend a few hours just talking with them about when they met Maharaj and what their experience was. And your mother's mother
Yeah.
is his brother, is
Yeah.
his sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mother's mama. This is my grandfather. From mother's side. But by his grace and doing this pray, bhajan, it develops. So that is the grace of my Guru. We came here. And it has taken some time to understand what I am now also.
मध्ये ईश्वराच्या नावाने त्या ध्यानाने ध्यान करताना तू आत्मप्रेमला प्रसन्न होईल. आत्मप्रेम प्रसन्न होण्याचा त्याच्याकडे देवदेवानी करावं लागतं.
In order to propitiate that.
We can say that he is used sometimes English word. He just passed only 2 years in his life, not 10th, 11, matriculation, 2 years in school, Maharaj. But by sitting along with you people, he is using some English word.
No color, no design.
And main English word he has said that when Maurice Pipin completed this book, Question and Answer of Devotees, he asked to Maharaj what should be the name. And Maharaj himself said, I am dead.
In English.
English. This name is given by him. I am dead.
आत्मा म्हणजे तू पण हे नव्हे एवढंच नव्हे नंतर या सहित आहेस तू.
The whole experience came through the bhajan. Many experiences came through the bhajan.
I was not having any sweetness in my tone, but he has given me that. Whatever the singing come through my mouth, he is singing. Because I was knowing that I was not just a simple stone on the road. He had developed up to this level now. This is a big experience. And experience is there. He says experience is also not remaining. It will also go. The time is there to grasp it, to capture it, to vanish it. So experience is not remaining. What is remaining? You are there.
आता ती काय जाग जो आणि जाणी ती तेव्हाच आहे ती जाणार तेव्हा कळते आहे. मग काय त्याने म्हटलं तेच का घेऊन बस म्हणत नाही. मरायला पाहिजे तुला म्हणजे तुला तुझे हे नटणे होणार. मग तुझे असणे काय ते बघून घे.
And when did you meet Maharaj?
1960. 1960.
Wow.
For 20 years I was with him. He suddenly told me, you come next day and I will get it. If you don't understand it, it's not mine. The words which are listening will work out within yourself. It will come out. Just like a seed, we plant a seed and afterwards it grows into tree. That means whatever you are hearing will grow.
फळं फुलं येतात तसे आम्ही हे सांगतो आंब्याचं जो बारीक तो खायला कडू नंतर आमचं आंबट पण तेच काही दिवसांनी त्याच्यामध्ये मधुराचे होऊन कळले आंबाचा रस तयार होतो. तसंही तयार झालेलं आहे. तसंही तयार झालेलं आहे. कोणी केलेलं नाही.
He says everything.
One day he spoke into humanity, if you are not awake, where is the God? When you awake, the God is there. In sleep, there is no God, nothing else. So when you awake, the God awakes.
So when you are there, God is there. If you're not there, nothing is there.
मी देव म्हणतोय देव म्हणतोय देवाच्या रूप मी असल्याशिवाय देव मी कसं म्हणणार ज्याला देव म्हणायचं आहे त्याचा अधिष्ठान मी असल्याचं ज्ञान आहे मी असे ज्ञान असलं देवरूप कोणाला येणार आहे
Everything is happening. You don't take on yourself. You be witness of that, witnesser of that.
सोपी वाटायची मला प्रपंच परमार्थ दोन्ही थकतात थकेवर त्यांचे होणार आणि मी केलं असं वाटणार
Things will happen. And you will think that the things are happening because of you.
Suppose somebody dies in your family, don't get attached. If your body is paining, don't think you are pain. Let it be pain. It will completely exhaust.
And when Maharaj would say, like, even going like we were talking today, the consciousness of consciousness.
Before consciousness, there is awareness.
Yes.
And awareness, before awareness, there is nothing. That is your destiny.
That is your
Destiny.
Destination.
destination. Okay.
It's not destiny.
Thank you.
Destiny is
The destination. And do you have an experience of like the I am and the consciousness dissolving?
Yes, we have got experience.
Yes.
When we meditate, after some time, it will automatically, first of all, you have to recite that mantras to concentrate on this. When you get exhausted, you forget everything. And then after this, you get confused. You don't think you are breathing or sleeping. You don't. That means you are urged into that holiness.
And is there any particular time or that you can remember where all of a sudden you realized that you were not? Yeah?
Definitely. Meditation, he says, for those who are illiterate, meditation is there. For the foreigners who are intellectually better than you, no mantras or nothing. He only discussed.
Yes.
तो आपल्याला काहीतरी समजून खर्च करून बसला एवढंच आता अनेक जन्म आमचं कमते आहे सगळं काय होती
Many people left, and there were mostly a few, like 5, 6, 7 Western people would be there. So he sent you away?
No, he says, now you finish your work. Whatever we were to do something, cleaning the photos, setting, taking the all this, then he was doing particular persons was to appoint. They will soon, he's doing it correctly, then you do it. Otherwise, next day he said, no, you do it. Bhajan and meditation.
Huh?
Bhajan and meditation.
Meditation, 1 hour meditation.
1 hour meditation.
1 hour reading Dasbodh and Eknathi Bhagavat. 1 hour reading by sitting in this posture. But there is no identity of I am anybody. By forgetting that just happiness. Any male, female or anything, I am anybody.
देहाच्या ओळखीने देहाच्या रूपाने बघतोय पण बोलणारे देह नाही आहे विजयी आहे
Somebody is not able to meditate. He has asked him to do bhajan. He knows he will come up by bhajan. Somebody came for only that I am that question and answer. He doesn't need to meditate. He doesn't need to meditate bhajan also. He knows that his basic is ready.
तुम्ही आपलं काय समजता ते तुमच्या मुक्त असेल
They have given to Ahmedabad.
ब्रह्म हे नाव आहे तुला ऐकल्याप्रमाणे माहितीला ब्रह्म नाव आहे
Many of your questions vanish once you put your identity in the consciousness, whether you are doing this, whether you are doing that, whether you are the doer, whether you have the free will, what will happen tomorrow, what has happened yesterday, all this stops once you just shift your identity from the body mind to the consciousness. Once you are not the body mind and in the consciousness, then where is the doership comes at all? Doership comes only when you take hold of your body or mind as yourself. That is the working, the intellect and everything is working. But that is not the thing. You don't put your identity on that. You put your identity on the consciousness. Then where is the question of working itself comes? It is just awareness that is aware of everything. And he also used to say, whenever you come up, you keep the shoes and chappals downstairs. Keep your intellect also downstairs and come. Nothing, there is no work for intellect here. No, intellect cannot, this is what we are talking is where intellect cannot reach. It is prior to intelligence. And everything is illusion, don't worry about anything. Happening is happening. To whom it is happening? That is the question. The happening is for the body, mind and other things that is happening. But you are not that. You are not in the happening state. That is happening. What you are asking is the happening. Happening is to whom appa pata hai. That is only for the body, mind, intellect and the picture. That is happening. But from where the picture starts? How the picture starts? Maharaj always used to say, where science stops, that Vijnan, he used to call the Vijnan state. Actually Vijnan, usually many Indians confuse with science. Science they call it Vijnan. But when Maharaj says Vijnan, it is prior to Jnana and Ajnan. Jnana is knowledge and Ajnan is ignorance. Prior to both the duality is the state Vijnan. He says when science ends, this Vijnan state is there. That science has nothing to do with that. You cannot, there is no question of logical thinking or logically doing something is not there. Everything comes later. See, your intelligence, your science, your everything comes later after the consciousness stirs. So whatever happens after the consciousness stirs, it is, you can just ignore it. It is anyhow, it is going to be thrown out as a dust in the dustbin, or it is not not good. There is no point in just finding out whether it is good or bad or what is happening. It is anyhow, it has to be thrown out. He will never, miss his bhajan or something. He had fever, then also he will take bath and come up and do the morning puja for his guru and do everything. But he says, some may ask, you say that there is no guru, nothing, why you are doing? This is also just a thing of happening. The consciousness is worshipping the consciousness. It is the thing. That is where the worshipper and the worshipped are the same. It is not that you are different. When you pray or when you do the puja or something, the only thing is Ananya Bhakti. That is, you and me are the same. It is not the same, is this cup and this cup are the same cup, not like that. It is the same thing. It is, they are equal or something. It is not like that. They are the one. The one is that is happening. Yeah, of course, Maharaj used to have a lot of devotion and unless devotion is, for me, devotion is the first and foremost thing. You should have faith and devotion. Then jnana comes automatically. At the end, both are the same. It is you and me are the same. There is no I am that. You are telling the same thing. I am that. You and me are the same. There is no difference at all. That is the Navavita Bhakti they call it. Na? That is the last Bhakti, is the Ananya Bhakti. It is the Sakha, that is your friendship, and the other one is, there is no difference at all. And Maharaj never left usually all the festival days, he never missed even one festival day to go to his Guru's Samadhi and pray. Always used to say. And those days it used to be very hot, and that place was very difficult. I mean, with stones and piercing. Then also he used to go. I mean, then also you can feel that he is doing the puja and he is not the body. See, when he is saying you are not the body of the mind, Maharaj can never be the body of the mind. Okay. He is not even the consciousness, he is even prior to the consciousness. He always used to say, I am not talking to you, it is only to the consciousness. You feel that you have come here on your own? No, the consciousness has brought you here, brought this body here. What we have to find out is how the consciousness and how it stirs and how it happens. That is the stirring of the consciousness is the, what we can say is the sharana or the movement. That gives you the realization how fictitious it is, why it shows. I mean, it is just a happening like the TV program is happening, it is happening. So you have to go to the source. That is the pada darshanam or the stirring of the consciousness. That is the feet. And he knows how it stirs. That's why he always used to put, emphasize on, it is the TV show, the film also what you see, many films are taken and then you run it very fast and you feel the continuity. It is not so. Many are taken in very various different times and then it is fast broken. So once you have the very, very slow motion, you can see that. Very, very slow motion if you want to have, you have to stay put there. He always used to say, at the conceiving state, at that point, the whole picture is put there. The whole film is there. That film just develops and then it comes in front of you and that is what is happening. Nothing can be done. It is programmed in the conceiving state. The only thing one can understand is you are not in the program. You are not that. That programming has done and the film show is going on and you are not in the film show. Don't identify yourself with the film show. Practice is to stay put in the consciousness. The only thing one has to do is stay put in the consciousness and to be there only for in that, so that you can understand much better how this film show is coming about. Even the morning comes also, it is only the film show of the consciousness has come. It has come on that. You are not getting up. That show, in that show, that getting up is happening.
So I just wanted to ask you, when did you first hear of Nisargadatta Maharaj?
When did I first hear? I read about him in the Ramanashram magazine, Mountain Path.
Mountain Path, right.
I read an article about him written by Susan, I forget her name.
Jean Dunn or no? Jean Dunn?
Yeah, sorry, yes, Jean Dunn.
Yes.
Quite right. Yes. An article written by her about him.
Yes.
About the book I Am That.
I Am That.
So when I read that, I got the book I Am That, read it over the weekend, and then I went and saw
Yes.
it.
And what year was that?
Oh, that was 1978. 1978.
And how did it feel when you first walked into Maharaja's place? Did you have any particular feeling at that moment?
No, because I was interested in the subject for many years.
Of course.
So, the very first I was impressed by what he had to tell me.
Yes. And in the book I Am That, is there something that really impressed you?
Oh yes, yes indeed. It made a deep impression on me.
Yes. Anything specific that really grabbed you, that really made a strong impression from I Am That?
No, nothing particular.
Nothing
the
in
whole,
particular.
whole thing.
The whole thing.
You see, because you remember, by that time I had read a lot.
Yes.
So the only thing is what Nisargadatta said was sort of confirmation of what I had already said,
Yes.
what I had already known.
Yes. And when you went to see him the first time,
Yeah,
besides you loved what he said,
yeah.
was there any kind of personal connection that you felt with Maharaj?
Not really, no.
No, not really.
No.
In your interactions with him, did you feel, how can I say, was it confronting for you? Was it, besides confirming, was it confronting? Were there light bulbs that went off?
I could feel that he liked me.
You see that he liked you? Right, right. And how often did you go?
Oh, every morning.
Every morning?
Every morning.
Yes. From 1978 until
3 years,
till he
almost 3
died?
years.
Almost 3 years, yes.
Right.
And when did he ask you to, I remember when I was there, there were other translators. When did he start asking you to kind of, translate?
About 6 months.
About 6 months?
After about 6 months.
Yes. And so you translated every morning or on occasion or?
No, it depends. I did many times.
Yes,
Sometimes Mullah Patan would
Yes.
translate or someone.
yes,
But I think Maharaj could see that the foreigners preferred when I was speaking.
right,
Probably because the others, Mullah Patan, they were not very familiar with foreigners.
yes,
Whereas in my banking career, and I was more conversant. I spent 3 years in London.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, I studied for 3 years
In London?
in London.
Yes,
So the way the foreign culture was known to me,
yes,
and the way I spoke English perhaps helped them. So the Maharaj could see that when I did the translation,
yes.
the foreigners liked it.
They liked it, yes,
So he would ask me to do that as often as he could.
yes. And in your understanding of Maharaj's work, what is the real core for you of Maharaj's work? The essence?
The essence of it, you see, he was, I am that.
Yes,
That his essence of it was that every human being is fundamentally the soul,
yes,
the impersonal consciousness
yes,
identified with each body, mind, organism
yes,
as a separate entity, which is the ego.
yes,
So basically, every ego is fundamentally the soul,
yes,
which is the impersonal consciousness,
yes.
or you could call it whatever you like.
Mm-hmm.
Primal energy,
Yes.
impersonal consciousness, awareness, whatever it is, that has identified itself with each body, mind, organism and a name,
Yes,
name and form,
yes.
as a separate entity, as the ego.
Mm-hmm.
That was his focal point.
Yes. Now, when he would make a statement, for example, he seemed to have stages. Sometimes he would say, hold on to the I am and let go of everything else, or hold on to your beingness, or stay in the beingness. How did you understand that?
Staying in the beingness
Yes,
would only mean not to get involved in your personal identity.
yes,
That is the point.
right,
But you see, that is what Maharaj's point.
yes.
You are that.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard him all that. My own problem was, all right, I accept. I am the source. Fundamentally, I am the source.
Yes,
You are the source. He is the source and she is the source. My problem was, which I had to deal with myself.
yes,
My problem was knowing that I am the source and you are the source. How do I live my life and be happy?
yes,
That was my perspective. which was not Nisargadatta's perspective.
No.
तुम्ही आहे माझ्या ध्यानात नसता ना मला कसला भ्रम नव्हता कबूल आहे की नाही तुम्ही ध्यानात तुम्ही येण्याच्या म्हणजे मला भ्रम होता का
So there was the general teaching. I'm trying to repeat it back to make sure that I understand for everybody. So there was the general teaching like don't identify, stay in the beingness.
Yes.
And all of that.
Yes.
Which was a general teaching for everybody.
Yes.
But he never, I mean, I remember, he
remember?
never, ever spoke about like how to live your life. And that was not almost of not interest.
देवाचं म्हणजे हे
तेव्हा माझ्याकडे
don't ask me a practical question. No, it is not conveyed to him fully.
ह्याच्या जातीचे आहेत ते देहाच्या जातीचे आहेत मी देहाच्या जातीवर बोलत मागतच वाटलं बसायला जा
साधनेबद्दल म्हणते
साधन नाही साधन नाही तसं आहे तसं विना विचारला
Don't ask me practical
शब्दाचा
things.
उपयोग करू नको
Do you feel gratitude? Do you feel some kind of something towards Maharaj?
Gratitude arises at that time.
Yes.
Therefore, the very first week, when the gratitude arose, and there was nothing I would not do for Maharaj.
Yes. That's what I was getting to.
So I did a lot of service for Maharaj, whatever Maharaj needed.
Yes.
I gave him donations to the best of my ability,
Yes.
which was an expression of my gratitude.
Yes. How do you, at this point, see the legacy of Nisargadatta? Or what do you see, or do you see a legacy at all?
That fundamentally, every human being, every ego is fundamentally the source.
Yes.
Why? Because the source is all there is.
Yes.
Source is the only reality.
Yes.
Therefore, every human being fundamentally is the source.
Yes.
But the important point to remember from my point of view is that every single human being is fundamentally the source.
Yes.
Therefore, neither I can do anything as an entity, the other cannot do anything as an entity. Only doer can be the source.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. You see? Seeking enlightenment. Why? That is my main point. Why are they seeking enlightenment? What is the purpose of enlightenment? Okay.
No translator and translation. Mohan and Jayashri, Maharaj's part-time evening translators.
So does it mean that they are within the limits of the Maya, the illusion? Or have they transcended? Maharaj says that once they have transcended the I am the body idea.
Maharaj asked me, why have you come here? For what? So I said, I want God. I want to see God. Then he laughed. No, you will come to know. Then afterwards I realized what is he meant by God, what is God, and what is spiritualism, and what is self-knowledge. Till then I was not aware of anything. Slowly I got it, what I am.
There was one vacancy of a translator sometime in 1978 or 79. Because another one translator who was coming, he had started gathering Westerners around him. So he thought that he was also a guru, like something. So Maharaj didn't like it. So, and then he used to tell, when he was supposed to translate the actual word to word, he was not doing that. He is introducing his own thing, which Maharaj didn't like. So Maharaj one day said that we have stopped the evening session. In future, there will not be translation in the evening. There will not be any discussion. So you may not come from tomorrow. And then that vacancy he wanted to fill up. So he told Muller Patan that you take his assistant, Gaitonde's assistants. So that evening, 5 o'clock to 6:30. That I used to translate from 5 to 5:30, and Muller Patan from 5:30 to 6:30. So then that continued. That continued up to the end. When Maharaj was initially, he started imparting knowledge, self-knowledge. He started sometime maybe 45 or 50, during 40s sometime. He started. And thereafter, up to 50, up to 60, 70, the people, very few people used to come to Maharaj, and they were mostly Indians. But when Maurice Friedman first came to Maharaj, thereafter, when that was published.
I am that. Het is een heel merkwaardig boek.
Maharaj used to say that is the main culprit.
The birth of I am that took place here. Father Sudhakar Dikshit, and he met with Maurice Friedman, and they used to have meetings in this office. And I was a student in those days. I used to drop in many times, and I used to find them discussing about what shape the book should take in.
They used to have lunch here together around 12 o'clock, and most of the time I would have meeting with Mr. Dikshit then. I would come just around the same time, both of us sitting side by side. So I never knew he was going to be the author I would publish. He was a very soft-spoken person, wonderful man. I think he used to be in Illustrated Weekly of India. Jean Dunn, on the other side, she was so faithful follower of Maharaj, she would not want you to change even any comma or a period. She thought it would distort Maharaj. A wonderful person, generally not easy to work with because of her commitment to Maharaj. She was always on the defensive if you talked about something. She was a very poor woman. She lived off Social Security only. And she was used to smoking and everything. She had many problems. But even under those circumstances, when Maharaj's son was sick, she gave him financial help for his treatment. She was a wonderful person.
Actually, Maharaj didn't want to have publicity about himself. He said, the real thing doesn't need publicity. The false needs.
जगतला संपल्यावर मी आता नाही पूर्वी नव्हतं पुढे असणार नाही जगातल्या संपल्याचा मला उपयोग नाही तुझ्या पुत्र माझ्या नेचराने असं आहे नंतर भेटला नाही तर नको भेटू.
Initially, he had a very low profile. So very few people were coming to him. But that he liked it so much that people are coming to me. He was surprised that self-knowledge, people are wanting this. So he said that when the devotional songs were sung in the ashram, the small place, he said that he felt like dancing in the hall with the sleepers and shoes of the people who came, their disciples. Because of that, because of this attitude, those people who came, they started taking advantage of his goodness. Maharaj, in order to attract them and keep them with him, he started giving them spiritual experiences. Initially, you are not aware of that, you came late. Actually, he gave them some spiritual powers actually. They had some visions and all these things. Actually, they have no value. In reality speaking, they have no value. But they started getting certain experiences which were supernormal. So thereby they had a feeling, those disciples, that because of their greatness it is happening. But Maharaj, then they started insulting Maharaj thereafter. Insulting him. They thought that they can pocket him and they can do they can take full advantage, whatever, as if Maharaj was their servant like that. Then Maharaj slowly changed. Sometime in 1970, 71, 72, he slowly changed. Then when Maurice Friedman came to him, then he said that this is enough. Enough is enough. Then he started treating him as his disciples very strictly. And then the things changed. So when I reached him in 1976, I didn't experience anything fantastic.
Maharaj himself is fantastic. Yes.
But actually on the first day I didn't notice that, but I said I will investigate. I will see him every day and see, let me see how he is. If he is good, I will continue, other I will stop. But thereafter, when I started getting the experience of egolessness, that is, all my worries used to vanish. I was working those days, so I had my own thoughts working and all that. All my worries, they slowly vanished like that. And then I said, this is something fantastic. This is only here it is happening, nowhere else. I had been to so many sages and so many gurus like that, but nowhere I could experience that. And that was enough for me. Bhajan I used to do in order to please Maharaj. That is the thing which Maharaj liked. And I will tell you, his beginning actually, he became a sage and the Guru was no more in the body.
Yes, sir.
So he didn't know how to continue life because it has no meaning. Life has no meaning thereafter. Once you realize, it is all like a dream. He got instructions from his Guru that whatever I have given you, you cannot repay it by any means. If you want to do anything nearly which I can receive from you, is you must do devotional songs, bhajans, 4 times a day. If you do this, I will receive it. That is enough for me. That is what his Guru told him.
ब्रह्मनिवास केला माझ्या गुरुने. हा भ्रम आहे, ब्रह्माविदेत नाही आहे. ब्रह्मनिवास केला माझ्या सद्गुरूने. माझा सद्गुरू म्हणजे परब्रह्म प्रॉपर्टी. परब्रह्म प्रॉपर्टी माझा सद्गुरू व्यक्तीला आहे.
Could you describe, if possible, I know there's no words, when the I am begins to dissolve and the consciousness, and there's just nothing, could you say something, anything about that?
It is just like deep sleep.
Conscious deep sleep. Actually, deep sleep and samadhi, there is a similarity that in deep sleep, you are unconscious, you are sleeping. But here, you are almost having all the advantages, but consciously. And this Maharaj once expressed like this. Once what happened, we used to go there every day at 5 o'clock in the evening. Once we reached there at 4:45 and we saw Maharaj sitting there, and then after about 10 minutes, he turned to us. He said, I was absent. He was absent. He didn't know anything about it. But conscious, fully conscious, but no existence of anything. And now, because you have come, my I-amness has come.
I don't know whether it is dissolving or not. I don't know exactly whether it is dissolving or not. I-amness. That is the problem.
And you're not the I amness.
Yeah.
Yes.
देहाच्या ओळखीने देहाच्या रूपाने बघतोय पण बोलणारे देह नाही आहे विजयी आहे.
Most of the sages, they keep quiet. But Maharaj was not like that. But Maharaj used to talk to people only who came there. Maharaj has never given a public lecture. Never. Wherever he has talked, it was for a selected few people, very selected few people. And there he used to take more care that nobody is hurt.
तुम्हाला समजते मग तुम्ही काय करायला मागता आता या जगात तुमच्या हिताकरता मी काय करायला मागता
I will tell you, Maharaj used to say that whatever knowledge I am giving you, I should not tell this to the common people. Yes, this is very important. He said that people will throw stones at me. Common man is not fit for this. Very selected few.
मी तो म्हणतोय तुम्हाला आता पुढे मला बोलणं बंद केलं पाहिजे मी आता काय बोलणार मोठे बोलणार ते या लोकांना कळलं नाही निर्णय एखादा नाही असं नाही एक निर्णय एखादा आता हा विचार तुझ्या प्रश्न उत्तर मी देत बसू का तुम्हीच सांगा तो काय विचार येऊ घेऊ त्याच्या गरजेचे विचार असतो पण ती उत्तर मी देऊ शकतो नाही
He said, because you come, take all the trouble, these foreigners take so much trouble coming all from so much distance, and they deserve it. They deserve it. They must be told. I am here only for that. He used to say. My only job, my only joy is this. He said, that is because of my Guru's grace. So I am telling that because of my Guru's grace, you are here, all of you.
पदार्थ ज्ञान देवा सरळे दृष्टादृष्टपणे नवले हा पदार्थ जर नाही तो जिथं होता तो आता दिसणार नाही पदार्थ ज्ञान देवा सरळे दृष्टादृष्टपणे नवले कुंज उतरे मी बनाचा नेमका फुकट
When Maharaj was talking, he used to slowly go from body mind to consciousness like that. And suppose he is talking on consciousness, then if somebody asks anything about body, he said, no, don't ask that. That is over. So now talk only about consciousness. So like that, so what was the topic going on according to that? He never entertained this worldly matters. No, he didn't like it.
स्वतःची काय जाण घेऊ आणि जाणी ती तेव्हाच आहे ती जाणं किंवा कळते मग काय त्यांनी म्हटलं तेच का घेऊन बस म्हणत नाही काय त्यांनी म्हटलं तेच का घेऊन बस मरायला पाहिजे तुला म्हणजे तुला तुझे हे नसणे होणार मरायला पाहिजे तुला म्हणजे तुला मग तुझे असणे काय ते बघून घे हे नसणे होणार असणे काय ते बघून घे
Right now understand.
या वाक्याच्या अर्थ तो बोलून गेला जागू खाता
He always used to say, stay at the root. Find out the root. What is your root?
Be at the source.
आमच्या शब्दाप्रमाणे ऐकून राहायचं वासना तुमच्या देहाच्या ओळखीची आहे ती वासना स्वतःबद्दल पाहिजे वासना स्वतः करता इच्छा स्वतः करता आशा स्वतःची आशा स्वतः करता पाहिजे पण विधेयी आहे त्याला आकार नाही आहे त्या आकार नाही त्याची ओळख झाली पाहिजे म्हणजे आत्मज्ञान झालं पाहिजे
Once he asked me, forget your name, forget your achievements or degrees, whatever it is, and tell me few words about you. I kept quiet. What can I say? That is the answer, he said. I am not a woman. I am not a man. Neither the saint nor a godman. I am not the body. I am not the mind. I am not a person of any kind. Neither the self nor the soul, but much, much deeper than the black hole. I am nothing. I am nothing, but I am everything. Because everything is nothing and nothing is everything.
Nice.
That's what he said. I like the most that he says, no, everything happens. Doer is imaginary. Doer is imaginary, everything happens. That I like the most.
अतिशयोक्ती वाटायची मला प्रपंच परमात्मा दोन्ही थकतात थकेवर त्यांचे होणार आणि मी केलं असं वाटणार
I'm like this, I'm like that. So if you are forget your me, then you are in heaven. And if you remember me, that is the hell. Forget me, forget my knowledge. So I took the meaning like this. Forget your me, his me, her me. That me you have to forget. Me and mine. That is the main point. Not forget Maharaj, but forget me. In everybody that is me is there, no? That me you have to forget.
Well, I'm not a person.
Yeah.
You're not a person.
That we can't digest.
Slowly.
Yeah. It will happen. His grace is there, it is flowing, but we have to make fit. We have to make ourselves fit for that.
तुझ्यावर चाललायचो काय तू अजून हटत नाही देहाच्या ओळखीचा प्रयोग तुझ्या तो गेला पाहिजे.
That is why he said, because of the very basic question that you expect something to move forward.
Once I asked him, Maharaj, give me realization.
Yeah.
Now I am laughing at it. But I asked, Maharaj, give me realization. Are you ready to die?
Maharaj himself, many a times he has said that I am dead and alive.
देह आकाराची ओळख राहिली काही गेली काय त्याच्यावर परिणाम
After the individual dies, what remains is the absolute.
Mentally I got it, but inside I have to drink it daily.
And as you drink it daily, from moment to moment, what happened?
That I can't say.
No.
That is the experience, so I can't give words to it.
No words.
निरर्थक तुमच्या कल्पनेची होते कल्पना निरर्थक आहे. आता आकाश ही ज्याच्या पापडीचा प्रकाश आहे पापडी उघडल्यानंतर आकाश निर्माण होते. मग तो कसा आहे ब्रह्मांड प्रलयाने ज्याला स्पर्श केला नाही तो आहे.
Navanatha Sampradaya is started from Shiva, and there are so many gurus, in all 9 gurus, and thereafter there were so many other sages, then Siddharameshwar Maharaj. So this is a lineage, this is a lineage of the gurus that is passed on from one to another like that. So all of them, they say that we belong to this Nath Sampradaya. The first stage, Maharaj used to say that you identify yourself not with the body or mind, but with the consciousness. So that is the first part. Once you stabilize, once you give up the body identity, stabilize in the consciousness, meditate there, then you will see that you are not even the consciousness, but you are beyond it. You are the witness of the consciousness, and that is the absolute. The Maharaj, when he said what he considered himself to be was not body, not consciousness, but that absolute principle because of which everything is. Yeah, it's like that.
So when you say Maharaj,
I mean that absolute principle. Yeah, I mean the absolute principle.
I also mean the same. Yeah. And Maharaj used to ask, do you think this is Maharaj? Do you call this as Maharaj? No, this is not Maharaj. This is Maharaja's body. And Maharaj is there. That means that principle. And I speak from there only.
Yeah. From the absolute. Yeah.
मग महाराज नाही महाराजावर अवलंबून आकाश आहे.
The space is a product or an outcome, or it depends on Maharaj principle. On that ultimate Maharaj principle, the space depends.
On the Maharaj principle, his own principle.
Ultimate principle is that Maharaj principle.
Maharaj says that the guru and disciple relation is such that whatever firm faith the disciple has about his guru, the same he will experience himself. If a disciple wrongly identifies his guru as the body, then he will remain at the body level only. But if he thinks that he is the consciousness, he will experience that himself. If he is the absolute principle, then that same. So like that. So Maharaj used to say, whatever you consider me to be, you will experience it yourself. Yeah, that way.
ज्ञानी नाही ज्ञान पण नाही ज्ञान आहे अन्नाचं सत्व आहे ही गोड आहे साखरेचा पात आहे तो.
And he used to call this as chemical. This is chemical. He used that word, chemical, and all that is happening, mechanical.
त्याचं हे पण मला फार आवडतं. पण हे मी आहे का नाही सत्वाचा गुण आहे तो.
Just as I like sweetness, similarly
त्याला नाव ठेवलं मूल, मग झाला बापया.
He used to say that I am alive after my death. That's what his word. I am alive after my death. Now this death is the wrong identity according to me. What I understand by it, whatever we normally consider a human being to be, if that identity dies, then what remains is the absolute. So in case of Maharaj, he understood that what he considered himself to be in the initial stage of his life, he was not that. So that identity came to an end. That was the death of that identity, that body-mind.
Death of the ego.
Ego is the death of the ego. Then what remains is the consciousness and the knower of the consciousness.
जाणीव आणि काय ते चार होणार एवढं बरी कसं जाणीव आणि काय चार होणार आणखी काय होणार ध्यानी जाणल्या म्हणजे अखेर झाला ताटलाटपूर नाहीच सगुणी नाही निर्गुणी.
In case of Maharaj, he was not the consciousness at all. He was the witness. He used to call that consciousness as the Godhood, Ishvara. Ishvara. He said, Ishvara is my servant. He serves me, he said. Ishvara, because whatever I do, Ishvara, it may be in any form. All his disciples, they are Ishvara's embodiments of Ishvara. All living things are embodiments of Ishvara only, the consciousness. So, consciousness is the Ishvara, God principle, and Maharaj, the witness of that. So he used to say that consciousness serves me. Yes. Ishvara serves me. Yes.
ते कृष्ण माझा आत्मा हे सगळं म्हणतील.
Maharaj used to say something very interesting. He said that you can come across so many people who will say that Lord Krishna is my soul. But how many people will you come across who will say that I am his soul? Lord Krishna's soul. A few. Only a few can say that. There is no command. Only understand yourself and be free. That is the only important thing. And then things happen. There is no doer. When the doer dissolves, what happens is happening only. So there is no question of doing anything.
But it is our ignorance about our self that we think that we are the doers. We don't know what we are exactly. So we think that we are doing the things like that.
निवड करायची कल्पना सोडून दे तर मुक्त होशील.
If you involve yourself with the process of making a choice or selection, you will be caught up. You will be caught up.
So ultimately, it is happening only and there is no doership. It's like that.
And he used to say, please first realize yourself and do whatever, then do whatever you like.
I remember somebody said to him, there's no bhakti. And Maharaj said, I'm a bhakta. I'm an Atma bhakta. So my question is, since in the West, most people in the West, because of I am bad, they experience the Maharaj's teachings as like Gyan. Like only.
You cannot distinguish
No.
like that. Yeah.
So that's my question. So obviously you can realize the absolute through devotion. Or you can realize the absolute through Gyan. Yep.
The principle is the same, no? The ways may be different, but principle is the same. You will reach same place by going this marga, Jnana Marga, and devotion also. So, ultimate goal is the same. So, I think both the amalgamation of devotion and knowledge, Jnana Marga.
In case of Maharaj, it is devotion after getting knowledge. See, his guru told him that you must do bhajans 4 times a day. That is bhakti after receiving full knowledge. That is a lesson. He has given this as a lesson to all his followers, that once you have knowledge, don't give up devotion. Let it continue, so that then you could stabilize in that. To get stability, one has to do that. That is a good practice, that according to them.
And with devotion, it won't be dry thing.
Yeah.
Only knowledge means as if it is a dry thing. So if you add this devotion to it, then there will be love like that. Love is not dry. Devotion means love, I think. That love should be there.
ईश्वराच्या नावाने ईश्वराच्या ध्यानाने ध्यान करताना तू आत्मप्रेमला प्रसन्न होईल. आत्मप्रेम प्रसन्न होण्याकरता पण देवदेवानी करावं लागतं.
In order to propitiate that love for oneself.
I enjoy being separate from you. He tells the Absolute that let me be separate and let me enjoy the devotion to you. So that I don't want to merge with you, then I will not enjoy this.
Nothing is everything and everything is nothing. That one sentence is enough, isn't it?